We're just going to improvise here. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcie. We're recording. Great. My name is Marcie, and I live in the Bay Area. And I'm super excited to share a bit. I have a company called Orgasmic Kitchen, and it's both a metaphor with
That's
how to.
pleasure.
Yeah, that's pleasure. Well, it's certainly not about focusing on aphrodisiacs in food. It's really about how do we connect nutrition to pleasure? How do we connect all the dots in our life, the various activities, and
They want to use her
to pleasure. And one of the things I really love talking about is how to derive more pleasure from our experience of cooking. And it's I talk to so many people. I mean, right now, of course, everyone is needing to cook for themselves, and a lot of people are really struggling. They don't have the profound connection that we have been so blessed with in the macrobiotic community, of really connecting to the healing benefits and having a more intimate relationship with our cooking experience. So what do I want to share about pleasure? So there are a couple of different factors. One that I like to share with people. One is having really great tools. The right tool for the job is a great thing. So having a knife, so a couple of things that I really love. I have a couple of different knives. They're different shapes. The handles have different shapes, different materials. Making sure it's sharp. Like, all these factors are like one key thing. If you have a dull knife, please go sharpen it now, because that will instantly up your experience of taking pleasure in cutting vegetables. Other tools that I really love, I have, gosh, I ought to show it. I guess I could go down into my kitchen and show you more specifically. Let me do that. This is quite the improvised lecture here. I'll come back to the tools as I'm going downstairs. One of the things in terms of cutting vegetables is having a good cutting board too that is pleasurable. Whether you like a wooden cutting board, maybe it has a story, maybe you got it while you were traveling. Really surrounding yourselves with things that are beautiful, that light you up. So it's kind of applying feng shui principles. Or if you want, Marie Kondo, does it spark joy? Does your equipment spark joy for you? Wearing a beautiful apron that uplifts you instead of one that's, stained and spotted, unless it has a good backstory that, reminds you of some experience or person that's really special. I would suggest ditch that apron. That's funny. Ditch that apron and wear one that really is beautiful. I'll show you one that I use. This one. Like, this is I'm adopted, and my birth mom gave me this. It came from one of her travels, and it's an apron that just brings me joy all the time. I have a couple of different types of cutting boards. One, a couple that are wooden, and then one that actually I can put on the counter, and it's grips right away. Safety and pleasure actually can work hand in hand. So having a sharp knife is more safe than a dull knife. I don't know if people are aware of that. And then also a cutting board that doesn't slip. So if you don't know already, you can take a cutting board that slips on your countertop, and you can put a wet towel underneath, whether it's just a small rag or a paper towel or a kitchen towel. You put it underneath that, it's dampened, and it becomes non-skid. So that right away will just give this solidity to your cooking experience that is really helpful. A couple of my favorite tools. Funny enough, I don't know if you can get one of these, but I don't know does Amazon deliver in Israel? It must. This is a very small little concave spatula. You guys can see that? What I love about this is that it can go inside a jar, it can go inside my blender. I don't have to worry about the head of the spatula really being chewed up or banging in. It fits just really beautifully. Funny enough, I was cooking for a family, And I saw one of these at their home and I thought, oh, no wonder they need to hire me to cook for them. They have no clue, like kitchen utensils. And I used it and I was shocked how wonderful. It's become one of my favorite things. In fact, I often will get these as little holiday gifts. Another thing, this is from a company that I work with called Salad Master that I think we have some reps in Israel and we ship to Israel, but this is a really nice beveled spatula. It's firm enough, it doesn't bend. So, you know, having these tools that are pleasurable really make a difference. What else do I want to say? Making sure that, you know, it's so easy to have a cluttered kitchen. I do periodic clean outs, transferring anything that I have in plastic into jars. You know, it just raises the vibration and it keeps things clearer. I can see what I have available to me. So it becomes, I have a series that I call Pantry Playground. I have a Facebook group called Nourishing Now. If you want to join me there, please do. I invite you all to join us. We do what's called Pantry Playground, and you know, you get to let your what you have on hand speak to you. You know, let it whisper. And so based on what you know in terms of your macrobiotic, like, okay, what will be most healthful? What's my condition in this moment? You know, balancing that with what do you have on hand to lessen the burden, especially right now, of needing to go to the store. You know, what do you have on hand that you can make into a beautiful, delicious meal? So I'm going to just share a little bit of, I mentioned, you know, the impact of water. So a test you can do for yourself. In fact, let me do that. Let me just grab a carrot. Hold on. So our fruits and vegetables, there's so many vitamins and minerals that are water soluble. And so one of the things I didn't realize, you know, I've been macrobiotic I just had my 10-year anniversary, and I didn't realize that we lose a lot of water when we cook. I mean, excuse me, a lot of nutrients when we cook. And so then we have to add salt back in to offer flavor, oils. So, you know, even as healthfully as we already are cooking in macrobiotics, I've up-leveled my game just by being able to shift how much water I'm cooking my vegetables in. So I'm going to just do a little, what we call a carrot test. Let's see here. So this is also a groovy tool that I have. It's called a Salad Master. It's hand operated, so you don't have to plug it in. So it's great for camping or, you know, if there's power outages. So I'm just gonna grate. You can do this at home. Wow. Hand grater. You grate just as an experiment, right? So get some grated carrot, and then you can just room temperature water. And we're just going to show you what happens. I'm going to stir this for just 20 seconds. And it'll be absolutely, so the basic kind of thing is that the color in our vegetables corresponds with the vitamins, and the flavor corresponds to the minerals, you know, salt being one of the main minerals, right? So when we want flavor, we add salt. It's a mineral, it enhances flavor. So when we're cooking with high heat, and as well as with, I lost my thought, a lot of water, we lose a lot of minerals. So here you can see that the water is now, can you see it? It's turned orange. So there's now a lot of the vitamins in this water. And then you can do a little taste test. And the one that's been stirred in water tastes like cardboard, sawdust. Doesn't have much flavor. Versus the one that's not been stirred in water. So imagine if you add a lot of heat. That's not pleasurable to choke. You add a lot of heat and water to your food, you're diminishing the nutrient return. And overall, it's not as pleasurable to eat because you can really have those vibrant flavors when you cook with little to no water. If you want to learn more about that, again, please reach out to me. Let us see, what else? Making sure your environment is really lovely. So that can look like making sure the counters are clean before you start cooking. I know right now it's easy for me, even I'm falling off again regularly because I'm just cooking all the time right now as I'm quarantined. When I clear off my surfaces, I wipe them down. I start with a really fresh environment. I can make sure the lighting is lovely. I can open the windows, get some fresh air if I want, put on some music. You know, creating an environment that's really, wow, hold on. Note to self, don't try to eat and talk while you're doing a lecture. And then here's one. I just grabbed this plastic container, have vessels that make you, you know, again, back to the environment piece, right? Glassware, cookware, plates, silverware that actually light you up. You know, I have some stainless or some sterling silverware that I got from my family that's just still so lovely. I use that instead of something that's just like cheaper or flimsy or disposable. You know, even if you were to go out and do takeout, I've gone, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times. That's all since we've been in shelter in place. But how can you even elevate that experience? You know, plating up your food. How do you make it pleasurable? And what you want to do, we have that home court advantage in macrobiotics is that there's so many, what I call accessories. All our condiments are accessories. So if you're, me without earrings or a scarf, right? Like we accessorize our outfits. You want to accessorize your food as you plate it up. Take some care. You know, make it pretty. Chop up some parsley, sprinkle that on, or cilantro, whatever condiments you eat. There's a way just to make it beautiful and take pleasure in the actual plating. It's esteemable as well. All of these things that we're doing in macrobiotics, you know, putting this level of attention on our health is an esteemable act. And so we can carry it through in the little step-by-step actions that we're taking to make our meals. One other thing too that I really love to talk about is, you know, and this is, you know, that I experienced a lot pre-macrobiotics. I was raised in Los Angeles. My parents stuck me into dance class. I was super insecure about my body and ended up, my mom was an overeater. We had a Jewish bakery in the family. You know, that Seinfeld episode where they talk about the chocolate babka, that's our family bakery. I had an eating disorder. And so I didn't know how to take, you know, I hid a lot around my experience of eating and enjoying food. And when I started my own path to recovery, I got really controlled with my diet, and I started asking, you know, if I go out to eat, I'd ask at the restaurants, you know, can I get it without oil, or what's in it? I had asked a lot of questions. I imagine some of you probably might experience that as well, that, you know, we have to ask a lot of different questions and make special requests. Restaurants nowadays are more open to special requests. Back then, it was particularly I felt like there's a lot of shame and eye rolling. So I have a personal mission really to to be an advocate for us taking care of our fellow humans who have special needs around their diet. How can we, whether it's they have a food allergy, a food preference, or really a food dietary need, like how do we honor that and incorporate that and pleasurably deliver that to that person? You know, instead of it being like, oh God, they're so high maintenance. How do we actually take it on of like, oh wow, this is a really great personal challenge. Like how do I take pleasure in giving this person what they need exactly the way they want it? Whether it's even our child or our spouse, they want a cup of tea made in this exact way, you know, a cup of twig tea with a, you know, 2 splashes of rice milk and a half a teaspoon of honey. Instead of seeing that as something that's a burden, how can we see that? How can we take pleasure in that? So, so that we're infusing everything with positivity. You know, it goes back to that, you know, those studies where you can write love on a glass or hate, and the molecules are entirely different. Since we're predominantly water ourselves, our thinking, our attitudes as we're cooking, like it's like an exponential experience. What else is up my sleeve that I'd love to share about in terms of taking more pleasure? Cooking with other people. Also noticing what time of day you, just gonna sit down instead of standing in my kitchen. What time of day do you actually feel more of an urge to cook? You know, sometimes people really enjoy that quiet time in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna make my food for the day. So really start to get to know yourself, your own rhythms. And if you have friends that you can cook with that you've already kind of COVID bonded with, quarantine safe friends, or even Zoom. I actually had a cooking date with someone I met on Facebook. We met once in person many years ago, and I know that he likes to cook. It wasn't a romantic date. It was just a like, hey, let's get together and cook. And he cooked what he was cooking. I cooked what I was cooking. We had a visit. So there are, you know, it's really important, especially for us in this community, to support this way of cooking, and we learn so much from each other. Yeah, let's see, what else? But how much time left do I have, Ginat?
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I want to save just, I'd actually just like to open this up for questions. Would that be okay? Is that,
Great.
yeah? So, you know, it could be questions/dialogue. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about something I've mentioned, something you want me to elaborate on?
Oh, Marcie, please tell us where you got that grater that you used for the carrots.
That is called a salad master. Yeah, that machine is crazy bomb. So there's a company called Salad Master. I started using their cookware and that machine about 3 years ago, and I trained to be one of their cooking consultants. So you can get, I don't know, I'm not sure what it would look like depending on the shipping of where you are, but I could, reach out to me because we can help you get one. They're priced like a Vitamix, so they're in the $500 range. They also come as, you know, bonus items with all of our cooking equipment, which, you know, the whole line is what they call waterless cookware. And it's a really clean line. It's made with a titanium stainless steel. So the food is radiantly delicious, and you can cook with little to no water. I can do a whole vessel full of kale with like a tablespoon or less of water. So it really maximizes the nutrients. I didn't want to have this be about like the product that I sell, but if you're curious to learn more, please do reach out to me. I love it so much, and it fits with my mission on how to make our experience of cooking and eating more pleasurable, and also not just because the food tastes better and then it retains more nutrients, but it's actually a pleasure to use the equipment. Yeah. So it's called a Salad Master.
It looks great.
Yeah. Salad Master is the line, and that's called the Salad Master food processor. Comes with 5 different cones, so you can get really great different shapes. I can quarter an onion and not have to take the skin off, and I can dice them a couple different sizes. I can slice them. I mean, I can make a whole French onion soup, cut all those onions sliced thinly in no time. Yeah. Who else has a question or comment they'd like to share?
Marcie, could you
Yeah.
give us your contact information?
Sure. Shall I realize I'm not wearing my glasses? Can I
Why
say
don't
it?
you say it? Yeah, and I'll type it.
Okay, perfect. So my email is Marcie, Marcie,
Wait, do it again.
Marcie, and the last name is Prohofsky, P like Peter, RO, HOF like Frank, S like Sam, KY, @gmail.com. Marcie Prohofsky @gmail.com. And my website is orgasmickitchen.com. And then you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And my group on Facebook is called Nourishing Now. There's an exclamation point on after now. Thanks for asking. Be happy to hear from you.
Thank you.
And I actually, based on that lecture from Edward, I thought it would be fun to do maybe a 10 or 20-day challenge in my group of, eating brown rice, miso, maybe teaching a class on making miso, how to make Canton. So yeah, please join us there. Who else? We just have a moment left for any question or comment.
I have another
Marcie, you're great, Marcie, how you jumped in here. I really appreciate it. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Leah.
you're welcome.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just bought a new wooden cutting board, and I'm just wondering how I should prep it, like with oil, or should I oil it to oil it?
There are so I'm not so great about doing that part, but I have a friend who made a beautiful product. Pretty sure I have it in my cupboard here. Let's see, do I?
Because I Googled it and they said to use mineral oil.
You can use a mineral oil, but if you want something a bit more of a natural process, I'm just going to get this wood conditioner here. I'm going to tell you what the ingredients are. This was made by a homesteader that is brilliant, that I know. Oh, well, she didn't put the formula in here. I'll see if I can find. What I would do is Google natural cutting board conditioner. This probably has some. I'm not exactly sure what it has in it, but it has tea tree oil and lavender. The tea tree oil will help kill any bacteria. Although most of us aren't cooking with meat, there still can be things. One thing I really want to emphasize in terms of the care. So, I never run my wooden cutting boards through the dishwasher. It'll just accelerate the death of that cutting board. Plus, it'll contribute to more molds growing on it. I also let them air dry standing up. I never lay it down. And I will always generally wash it right after. Same with knives. If you're not already taking your knives and washing them right after you finish with using them and then putting them away directly, please consider start doing that. The knives are happier. They won't be more as susceptible to getting dinged. Plus, it's just better safety. If you're a lot of people will not knowing better, they'll put their sharp knives in the sink because they're wanting to do a cleanup, and it's just more susceptible to not knowing that, remembering that it's there and cutting yourself. Yeah. Last question.
Hope to see you
What?
next World Health Forum. You said
Was that a question? I'm sorry.
see you next year.
Yeah. I love, thanks so much for letting me jump in. That's kind of my special sauce, is improvisation. So on my Facebook, my personal page, I've been doing, there's probably about 100 videos of something that I called kitchen improv. It's my Facebook Live cooking and, you know, healthy philosophy series. Yeah.
Well, you have great hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
ladies and germs, we're going to call it a day and see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Israel time. And we certainly appreciate, we have people from all over the world joining us, from West Coast US to Asia and points in between. So it's been a great day. We've done day 2 now. We're going great. So let's join back together tomorrow morning. I will unmute everyone in case you want to chat. And sayonara.
You're not behind the loop. You think I knew?
Yaakov Rosenberg?
Yes. But you didn't know anything gay?
I just sent him an email this morning asking him if he would send me.
Uh-oh, let's see if we can mute user 1.
Who's this? Margot, welcome to Israel. Oh, there's a Flora. Did you see that, Gina?
Who says
Anybody
welcome?
hear me? There's a post here from Margot. Margot? So just
I see you,
Richard
Margot.
Levine to the throne.
Hey, wow.
You.
Okay.
Who is
From
Mark?
Boston to Zichron. I don't know. We'll say welcome, Margot,
Oh,
etc.
my message didn't show up. Here, like
You have to make sure you send it to someone, to whoever.
I
Oh,
thought I
that was
did.
supposed to be the Ginat. Okay.
No, I sent a message to Marcie saying how perfect she'd be in Japan. How
Yeah, I
they-
saw that.
they-
Yeah.
Oh, you did see that? Okay.
Mhm.
I'd be perfect in Japan. How so?
Oh, you're there. Okay. Because they put so much attention to every single detail. Every little thing that goes on the plate is so beautifully designed and together. And oh my gosh, everything they do is I don't know what the word is for it. Art, beautiful
Yeah.
art.
Well, that attention to detail is a beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah.
We thrive when we get, you know, attention from another human, or attention from our animals, right? So we're, you know, it's like the water to us being a plant, you know, the water.
Marcie, do you speak to your food? Do you talk to your food?
Do I talk to my food? Not as much as now. I think I will. But I did find just the other night, I just all of a sudden I said, "Thank you, kitchen. Good night."